What a night at Great American Ballpark, and a perfect night to kick off a long homestand. It begins with 3 against the Brew Crew. It's the Reds and Brewers coming up on your home for Reds baseball, Fox Sports Ohio. And hi again, everyone, alongside Chris Welsh, Jim Day. You know that old saying, you have to walk before you run. Well, the Reds coming off of their first series victory, Chris, and it was a winning week of baseball.
Well, they win 4 and they lose 3, and the way the Reds started the season, you got to figure that is really big-time momentum for them. And not only that, but they put some runs on the board. They scored 51 of them all together. They had the home run ball working, 11 of those. Their batting average is a team over 300. So all of those numbers, the best in the National League. I would say they've got it rolling better now than obviously any time so far this season.
The Reds will give the ball to a lefty tonight. It's Brandon Finnegan. He'll make his 3rd start of the season, Chris, and indeed, it's time for this guy to turn up the wick.
Well, you're hoping for continued progress. I don't think at any one time all of a sudden you're going to flip the switch and Brandon Finnegan is going to turn into Clayton Kershaw, but you want him to get a little bit better with each start, go deeper into a ball game, be more efficient in each inning, and be able to control the baseball, especially the fastball around the zone, a little better than he has so far.
He will face a Brewers team that has been a very streaky team. They got punished at Wrigley Field in Chicago. They were swept in 4 games, but you look at the Brewers, they had won their previous 8 games before losing 4 straight to the Cubs. And I got to tell you, they scored 2 runs in 4 games, so if they're due offensively, it could be a tough night for Brandon Finnegan. We'll see how that shakes out, but the Reds will face tonight Yolis Chacin.
Well, Chacin is a guy who's been around a long time, and you probably watched him pitch maybe in the uniform of a Colorado Rocky, maybe with the Angels, maybe last year when he had a very good season with the San Diego Padres. He was one of several pitchers that the Brewers have signed in the offseason, hoping to get quantity in there because they need to fill in for Jimmy Nelson, their stud starter, who won't be back for a couple of months yet. So Chacin is a guy that he may or may not miss the friendly pitching environs of Petco Park. We'll see, because there's a big difference between Petco and Great American.
It's a little Central Division rivalry baseball and Monday night baseball on tap. Monday special. Game 1 of 3 here against Milwaukee coming up on Fox Sports Ohio.
brought to you by Chevy. Check out our award-winning lineup only at your Tri-State Chevy dealer. And by Skyline Chili, feeling good, it's Skyline time. Now it's Monday night here at Great American Ballpark, and today's storyline is brought to you by Elk & Elk. The Reds hold a 3-1 record on Mondays this season. They are one of 4 teams to win 3 games on Monday alongside Cleveland, Oakland, and Washington. They can credit some of that success to catcher Tucker Barnhart, who has clocked a .333 average, 1 home run, and 3 RBIs on Mondays. Now, it might be Monday here at Great American Ballpark, but it is also the last day of the month, and that means we're counting down the top 5 moments of the month. Up first at number 5, April 11th at Philadelphia, Billy Hamilton. Check this out. Far ball into center field. He leaps, and he goes right into the wall. Now, my favorite moment of that play is right at the end where he does this backwards somersault. Watch this. Look at that. That takes some yoga, I would say. Hamilton is back in the lineup tonight versus the Brewers, and hopefully he can bring the spark that the Reds need to improve to 4-1 on Mondays and also continue that momentum that they had last week with a 4-3 week. When we come back, Jim and Chris will have lineups and first pitch.
Brew Crew tonight, 7:10, and I'll tell you, the weather is going to be perfect for baseball this evening. We'll fall out of the 70s through the 60s into the upper 50s under mostly clear skies. Enjoy the game right here on Fox Sports Ohio.
Brandon Finnegan, already 25 years of age and in his 5th major league season. Tonight will make his 4th start of the season, his 7th career appearance and 6th start versus the Brewers. Craig Counsell in his 4th season as a big league skipper of the Brewers, and here's how they'll line them up. Brought to you by Nissan. Lorenzo Cain, acquired in the offseason, will lead off. Christian Yelich batting second. 3, 4, and 5, Ryan Braun, Travis Shaw, Domingo Santana. Manny Pino will be behind the plate doing the catching. Jonathan VR at second base. Orlando Arcia at shortstop. And on the hill batting ninth, Yolis Chassin. This would be a big start personally for Brandon Finnegan here tonight. Looking for success, and a little home cooking perhaps will help. The first pitch is low and away, and this game is underway.
Well, you have to keep in mind that Brandon Finnegan is still a very young pitcher, even though compared to a number of the pitchers on this staff, he's a seasoned veteran. But he just turned 25 years old a couple of weeks ago.
and a guy that has, hasn't had that much long time chance to pitch at the major league level as a starter.
2-0 pitch, grounder, just foul.
What you like about Finnegan is his swing and miss stuff. He's got a fastball that's got nice movement. He kind of jumps at you from the mound, and that kind of speeds up the heart rate of the hitter a little bit and gets him jumpy. And he's got a very good changeup, and a changeup is his really plus pitch. But you've got to set that up with being able to control the fastball.
Count's 3-1, and this has been the MO. Falling behind batters. And trying to combat that tonight. He'll have to come up with the pitch to Kane. And he misses. And a leadoff walk given up by Brandon Finnegan.
Obviously, Jim, as you get older and more experienced as a major league starter, you always have in your pocket one pitch that you can throw for a strike. It may not be an overpowering pitch, but it's something that when all else fails, and especially when you're leading off the game with a guy who's got some speed, you can dig in there and you can throw that ball over the plate.
That is the 10th base on balls for Finnegan in 12 1/3 innings plus of pitching. Christian Yelich pops it up. First pitch swinging, and Finnegan says thank you very much.
Oh, you're not kidding about that.
And here's how the Reds will defend him. Brought to you by Ford. In the outfield, Winker, Hamilton, Shebler tonight. No Adam Duvall in the starting lineup. Across the infield, Suarez, Peraza, Blandino getting the start at second base for Scooter Gennett. We'll talk more about that coming up. Votto at first, hanging the signs for Brandon Finnegan, Tucker Barnhart. And here's the ever dangerous Ryan Braun. Playing first base tonight, and we've seen that a lot this season. The Brewers trying to get playing time for Lorenzo Cain, Yelich, Santana.
Of course, you're going to see Braun a whole lot more over the next few months because they lost their starting first baseman, Eric Thames.
Right.
Thames, he is the ultimate Reds killer here out of the Brewers lineup, and he's gone with he had surgery on his thumb, so he's gone for the next couple of months. So Braun pretty much will be there nearly every night.
Torn ligament in his thumb for Thames. They're calling it a 6 to 8 week injury. But he's not only a big loss in the Brewers lineup, but particularly, as you said, facing the Reds. Man, has he been a Reds killer. And you're talking about Thames, you're taking 7 home runs already out of the lineup. 0-2 pitch to Braun in the dirt.
The thing that it does for Thames, especially against the Reds, is it lets the Reds have a big sigh of relief, at least temporarily. Last 2 years, he was a one-man wrecking crew against Cincinnati. .344 batting average. He belted 12 home runs. I mean, they were still trying to figure out a way to get that guy out.
2 balls and a strike is the count. I should look at our monitor, not the scoreboard, because they had it 1-2. This one's fouled back and out of play. And the count evens at 2-2. Braun got off to a slow start, but last 11 games, .359 average. A couple of home runs and 7 RBIs. There goes the runner from first. Tough ball for Barnhart to catch, and that's an easy stolen base for Cain.
Well, you're always looking for a breaking ball to try to go on, and they picked the right pitch. A 2-2 count right there. They're figuring that maybe a slider down. Braun doesn't chase it. And that's an awful tough pitch to try to pick and throw, even if you pick clean the way that Barnhart did.
8th stolen base of the season for Cain. That leads the Brewers, and he came in 5th in the National League in stolen bases. Payoff pitch. Swing and a foul. Talked about that 4-game set at Wrigley Field. It was a 4-game sweep Brewers fell, and they scored all of 2 runs in 4 games. And those 2 runs came in game 2 of that series. They got shut out 3 times. And he's walked Ryan Braun. 2nd walk in 3 batters.
You know, the other thing that I guess Brandon Finnegan should know better, but at this time of the day, it's very difficult to see the ball at home plate as a hitter. We're not quite into the month of June where it really gets bad, but when it's on a sunny day, it starts reflecting off that batter's eye in dead center field. And it's very difficult to pick up the spin. You always hear about hitters coming back to the dugout. Jim, for all the hours you've spent down at that camera, well, you probably heard guys mumbling about it a lot.
All the time they would come back to the dugout and say, I never saw it. Never saw it to the last minute.
So you might as well throw strikes.
Here's the pride of Washington Courthouse, Ohio, Travis Shaw. Shaw, 252 batter, 5 home runs, 14 RBIs. Well, he is hitless in his last 15 at bats. One is tapped foul. Getting off to a slow start has been Finnegan's problem as well. 7 of his 11 base on balls this season have come in the first inning, and that includes tonight. 2 of them tonight. Called strike. Rob Drake calling balls and strikes behind the plate. Mike Muchlinski at first base. Crew chief Mike Winters at second. Tim Timmons at third base. Here comes a 1-2. And in the dirt, and Barnhart's already busy. Trip to the rosin bag and throwing it down with a little disgust. As Finnegan trying to find the strike zone. Into right field. Schebler got a beat on it. Tagging up at second base and going to third is Kane. 2 outs.
So now you're Brandon Finnegan, and you're 1 batter away of getting out of the inning despite having walked a couple of batters. I mean, you get that negative stuff right out of your mind. And you're thinking, I just have to work through 1 more batter right here. I get to get into the dugout, take a seat, collect myself a little bit. But the important thing is here, throw a 0 on the board.
And Domingo Santana standing in the way of that. Up and away. Santana, 236 batter. Still looking for his first home run of the season, 4 RBIs. Appeared in 27 games, and here's a soft liner at the second baseman, Blandino. And Finnegan's able to dance around 2 walks. Reds coming up. 2-walk first inning, but he got through scoreless. As the Reds will come up, and they will lead off Jesse Winker. The Reds lineup brought to you by Nissan. It'll be Winker in the leadoff spot. Jose Peraza batting second. Votto, Schebler, Suarez 3, 4, and 5. Tucker Barnhart behind the plate. Alex Blandino riding a 7-game hitting streak at second base. Pitcher batting 8th tonight, Hamilton. Back in the starting lineup, and he's batting 9th. And they're facing Yolis Chassin. 2-1 record and a 3.99 ERA.
Guy's been around for 10 years and he's only 30 years old. He's had a really nice major league career, but he's been beset by injury, not overpowering. He throws really 6 different pitches. None of them are like a killer pitch, but he mixes it in, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. What the Reds are likely to see tonight, though, based on what he's done so far this year, when he gets ahead, you're going to see a lot of sliders. When he's behind in the count, you'll see sliders, but not quite as many. This fastball is not enough to throw it by you.
Winker just a tick below 300 at 299 on the season. Still seeking his first home run. 9 RBIs, but he's hit safely in 10 of 11. And look at that on base percentage at .415. Continues to have a tremendous command of the strike zone at a very young age as far as his major league career goes. 2-2 pitch. Grounded left side. Arcia with a cannon. 1 out. Now it's time for the Lowe's whole team together. Highest average of the last week. How about Jose Peraza? 441. His teammate Alex Blandino 400. And look at the Reds just up and down. The offense finally waking up. Jeanette, Votto, Schebler, Suarez, Winker all above 300.
Of course, they had that one game in which they had 20 hits, I think.
Yeah.
Scored 15 runs. That's good to pad your average a little bit. But I think all the hitters around baseball, Jim, who have been in the Midwest or in the East, where they have lived through a really bitterly cold April, are just glad to see that go. That's pitching weather. This is hitting weather.
Feliz cumpleaños to Jose Peraza. That would be happy birthday. As he serves one into short right field, second baseman Villar's got it 2 outs. Here's your Ford defensive lineup for the Brewers. Christian Yelich in left field tonight. Kane in center. Domingo Santana in right. Shaw, Arcia, Villar, Braun across the infield. And Manny Pena hanging the signs for Chassin. And now here's the reigning National League Player of the Week. Joey Votto named today as the NL Player of the Week. 5th time in his career. And what a week Votto had, including home runs in 4 straight games. Pretty good week.
I thought it was very interesting that Votto wins the National League Player of the Week, and the American League Player of the Week is a former Red, Didi Gregorius.
Yeah.
Who has provided all the power in New York, even with Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge, Gary Sanchez. They're talking about Didi.
Well, Gregorius, of course, the former Red, and a lot of people say, oh my goodness, how can they Reds give up on him? Well, Diamondbacks did as well. There was a stop in between there.
Well,
and Gregorius, one of those later bloomers.
Well, yeah, I think you're probably right about that. And you may have seen the numbers. Chassin against Joey Votto. Votto's had his number. A couple of home runs and a .333 batting average. And Chassin really doesn't have the stuff to get you out. He provides you with an opportunity to get yourself out. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, changes speeds. When he's on his game, he gets a lot of ground balls.
Payoff pitch to Votto. And he walked him. 2-out walk, Devano. And now Scott Schebler hitting cleanup tonight. Schebler riding a modest 5-game hitting streak. But look at the average, 304, 3 home runs, 11 RBIs, and hitting 4th tonight.
Yeah, it really made a difference when they got him back in the lineup after being out with after being hit on the elbow with a pitch.
Grounded right side into the teeth of the shift. The Reds strand a runner. We've played one. They're scoreless at Great American. And Justin Morneau during the Reds' recent trip to Minnesota. Why is the high school showcase so important to the Reds? Plus, with it being Kentucky Derby week, we flash back to Rob Murphy, the Reds reliever and horse expert. Reds Weekly is presented by Miami Valley Gaming with a new episode Wednesday, 6 o'clock on Fox Sports Ohio and streaming on Fox Sports Go. Finnegan will get Manny Pena, Jonathan Villar, and Orlando Arcia here in the 2nd inning. Scoreless game. First pitch swinging. Line drive right at Schebler. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Well, you like that kind of start to an inning for sure, but you got to figure if you're Pena, you go up there thinking, you know, he just got a lecture from the pitching coach in the dugout during the top or the bottom of the inning, and he's going to want to get ahead of me, so I'm going to look for the first pitch fastball. He got it, hit it on the button. But there was somebody right there to catch it.
And here's switch hitting Jonathan Villar. A hack from the right side against the lefty Finnegan. He is trying to break an 0 for 9 skid. Brewers lineup has not been good against left-handed pitching. In fact, their .207 team batting average against left-handers, lowest in the National League coming into this game. Their on-base percentage just .278, lowest in the National League, and 2nd lowest slugging percentage. Now on the list with, how about the Red Sox on that list?
It hasn't hurt them too much.
No. Wow.
Must be no left-handed pitching in the American League.
I was going to say, I have to dig deeper into that stat. It's mercy.
Villar's a guy you want to keep off the base pass. He can scoot a little bit. Had 23 bags last year, 62 the year before that.
Well, you think this Brewers club would be better against lefties? I mean, you got Down goes VR. First strikeout of the night for Finnegan.
Just kind of rides a fastball right up out of the zone, and VR chases it. You know, if you could just get those guys that have good speed to shrink the strike zone, it would really put a lot more pressure on pitching.
Finnegan bidding for a 1-2-3 inning. And Orlando Arcia at the dish. Arcia 198 on the season. And just a 235 on base percentage. Ground ball right back to Finnegan. Nice play. An 8-pitch inning for Finnegan. 1-2-3 fashion. Field your position. Cincinnati Reds app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Reds home screen icons and features such as MLB.TV, Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today. It has been feast or famine for the Reds offense this season. And wins, look at that. 8.6 runs per game. In losses, you would expect it to be low, and it's low. And the average way offset as well as the slugging percentage, and that 8.6 runs per game in their wins leads all of Major League Baseball. Here is Eugenio Suarez to begin the second for the Reds. Suarez checks in at .311. 2 home runs, 10 RBIs. And that on base percentage above 400. He's dancing out of the way of that one. Ground ball, hard hit, but right at Arcia. 1 out. And here comes Tucker Barnhart. Now, you were talking about that 20-hit game the Reds had in Minnesota. You want to talk about beating yourself up after the game. Tucker Barnhart did not have any of those 20 hits.
He did have a couple of sacrifice
He did have,
flies.
and I brought that up to him. He said to me, can you believe we had 20 hits and I didn't have one of them? He said, Jim, do you know how hard that is? And I said, but you did have 2 sacrifice RBIs. I don't care about that. He was over. He was beating himself up. And spoken like a true hitter, I go, what would you rather have, 2 RBIs or 2 hits? He said, oh, 2 hits. In a game like that, I got to have the hits. If the game were a different situation, he would say RBIs.
Well, yeah, if it was a 2-1 ball game, obviously you want the ribbies.
Yeah. A 4-pitch walk given up by Chassin. Second walk of the night for him. And that'll bring up Alex Blandino, riding a 7-game hitting streak. And since the Reds sent to AAA Cliff Pennington, followed by Phil Goslin, Blandino's been getting a lot of playing time, which quite honestly is refreshing, because you want these youngsters to grow, because you hope he's part of the future, even if it's a bench role.
Well, at some point in his career, especially when he was in college at Stanford, I mean, somebody deemed him a major league prospect big time because he was drafted in the first round.
Right.
So you want to find out if he can play or not, and the only way to do that is you get him up here and let him give him some extra leash room.
Well, he started his big league career 1 for 17. But during the 7-game hitting streak, 3 2-hit games. And that 7-game hitting streak ties Peraza for the longest active hitting streak by a Reds batter.
I think Blandino's the kind of player where you have to watch him a lot and to have him convince you that he's ready to play up here. Because he doesn't do any one thing great. Doesn't have terrific speed. He's probably not going to hit 350 in the big leagues. He doesn't have a lot of power. You know, he can play all around the infield, play very good defense. He's a heady ball player. He's got good baseball sense. But I think that is something that you grow to appreciate after you see him play a lot.
He's improved defensively since he's been up here with the big club. In spring training, like the whole entire team, struggled mightily defensively in spring training. The whole team did.
I'm wondering if some of that is, you know, the high skies for outfielders, the difference in grass in the infield as it is up here. The infield's here a little bit slower. Grass is thicker.
Check swing. He went.
Of course, you may say, well, it's the same way for the other team, too.
Right. Well, that ground in Arizona is so hard. You get some wicked hops in Arizona. But he had trouble throwing the baseball as well. But he's been solid up here. He didn't have any trouble swinging the bat in spring, as you see. And he played a lot, nearly every day.
You know, Chassin has never been a really great strike thrower. He's always averaged about 3.5 walks per 9 innings in his career. This year, that walk ratio has actually gone up. And he's going to find pitching in this division where you don't have very big ballparks, like where he pitched last year in San Diego. Those walks will haunt.
There goes Barnhart from first, swing and a miss, throw down. That is a strike him out, throw him out, end of inning. 2 in the books, scoreless at Great American.
on April 23rd versus Atlanta. Sal Romano barehands this ball after pitching to Ozzie Albies. He makes the play for the first out of the 6th inning. Ouch, why barehand it? Jim, Chris, how much was his hand stain after that?
Well, you know, Shannon, the pitchers are always told don't barehand it unless you absolutely have to. And they really mean on a soft bunt, but when you're pitching and the ball comes back to you, your natural reaction is to try to stop it. And sometimes the bare hand gets up there. He's a big, tough guy, though. Sal Romano is, and hoping his buddy Brandon Finnegan is able to kind of continue it on tonight. He had a 20-pitch first inning, an 8-pitch second inning, a 1-2-3, and now he's got the pitcher leading off here in the third.
Chacin bats him as he throws him. 0 for 9 this season as a batter, but a 187 career hitter.
You say that like it's good.
For a pitcher, that's good.
Not too bad. That's a pretty hard hit ball.
Yep. Landino will
make him run it out. Oh,
oh. Wow.
Maybe have to wear one after that.
That was, you know what? If you're not going to run it out.
Well, he hits it right out. He knows he hit it well, and he hits it right at the second baseman, and he fields it. And now Blandino is holding it, and then finally throws it.
Check Alex out here.
Well, I'll tell you what. There was a time that you may not want to do that.
Yeah. Next time up, we'll just file that away. We'll file it away. Where do you stand on pitchers running hard at first base?
I think that they run to keep in shape. I don't have a problem with them running hard.
Because they say we're saving it for the mound.
They're only going to throw 100 pitches anyway.
Well, that's true.
I mean, if Jim Maloney could run hard, throwing 200 pitches a game, why can't these guys run hard if they're only going to throw 100 pitches a game?
Somewhere out there in Fresno, California, Jim Maloney is saying, doggone right, Chris.
One of the best.
One of the best human beings on the planet. I just love seeing him and his wife every spring training. Just love it. Great guy. Great stories. You want to laugh at some stories now. 2-2 pitch to Lorenzo Cain. Cain walked his first time up, stole second base, was stranded at third. He is one of the few Brewers that is good against lefties. He came in with a .440 batting average versus left-handed pitching. A long look in by Finnegan, so long that Cain calls timeout. Count holds at 2-2. Full count. Brewers made a splash in the offseason, a couple of them, when they acquired Lorenzo Cain and traded for Christian Yelich. And Yelich stands on deck. One of the few splashes made, because it took a long while for the free agent market and the trade market, for that matter, to get going. But he was signed on January 26th. 31 years of age now is Lorenzo Cain. Born in Georgia, resides in Norman, Oklahoma. Deep drive. Hamilton calls off Winker. 2 outs. That ball sounded and looked better off the bat than it ended up. And now Yelich.
You know what I'm seeing out of the Brewers so far are just a lot of big swings.
And Kane, he's got some power, but certainly as your leadoff hitter, you don't want him up there trying to hit the ball 400 feet. I saw the same thing out of the bottom part of the order too. VR, Arcia, it looked like they're trying to hit the ball into the upper deck. And you know, now that I've seen them get very hot, when they swept the Reds, and then they swept the Marlins and ran off 8 in a row, and then they've gotten shut down big time by the Cubs in the last series. You can see that maybe they're just trying to do a little too much at the plate right now.
Well, when you score 2 runs in 4 games at Wrigley, and 2 of those runs coming in 1 game.
And they were gift runs from what I read.
This one into right field. Fielding it quickly is Schebler, and he holds Yelich to a single. Nice job by Schebler out there in right field. Well, that ball was slowed down a ton by the grass.
This guy can hit. Yelich has got a good swing. He went up, he became an easy out the first time up. He got a fastball that he missed and popped it up. This time he gets one that he levels on and hits right by Joey Votto. You can see how that ball really slowed down when it hit the grass out there. This part of the spring, if you've got a yard, you're cutting it twice a week.
Yep.
Really thick grass.
Boy, do I know firsthand. Ryan Braun was trying to make it a 2-0 game. Braun walked his first time up. Oh, 1-1. Two balls and a strike. Braun now 34 years of age. 5th overall pick back in 2005, and what a career it has been. 2-1 pitch. 2-2.
Braun's another guy that is swinging a little bit bigger, and he's being a little bit more aggressive on pitches that are outside the zone. In his career, he has always walked about once every 10 times he comes to the plate. This year, he's walking once almost every 20 times he's come to the plate. So that's either pitchers coming after him or him chasing more pitches out of the zone.
Action pitch up the middle, base hit. Yelich rounding second base. He'll be into third easily. First and third, 2 outs.
Braun's always a guy that, you know, they say good hitters put overspin on the ball. I'm not really sure exactly how they do it, but it seems like that's the case. Finnegan can't get his glove up in time. You think you're right on it as a pitcher, and all of a sudden the ball's by you, and Yelich smooth as he goes into third.
Two-out batter will be Travis Shaw. Flight out to right his first time up. Now 0 for his last 16. Look at. You think Pops is in the stands tonight?
Oh, you can book it.
Just up the road, Washington Courthouse. Former Red Jeff Shaw, the dad of Travis, and he pops it up. Barnhart throws the mask away. And again, Finnegan gets out of trouble. Strands 2 in the first, 2 in the third. Meal Deal. Check concession stands throughout the ballpark for the Kroger Meal Deal, which includes a hot dog, a bag of chips, 16-ounce Coke, and during this homestand, Black Forest fruit snacks. Make sure you get your Kroger Meal Deal today. Scoreless, and pitcher versus pitcher here in the bottom of the third. Brandon Finnegan, Billy Hamilton, Jesse Winker for the Reds. Taking it himself is Braun, 1 out. Now Billy Hamilton back in the starting lineup as Adam Duvall gets the night off.
I always thought it was going to be interesting how Jim Riggleman, who takes over for Brian Price. Price at the beginning of the year had a conundrum there with 4 outfielders and only 3 places to play him. And he did the best he could by figuring out that that rotation, trying to get everybody equal playing time.
Bunt, but right at Chacin. 2 outs.
And then trying to do it with matchups and so on. Eventually you figure that things are going to work themselves out. They did for a while when Chevrolet was on the disabled list.
Well, you guys talked about it in Minnesota. Jim Riggleman not afraid to ruffle some feathers. He pinch hit for Billy Hamilton twice, which Hamilton is not accustomed to. And you guys talked about it. He said, we talked about it. He said, players' feelings getting hurt are secondary to what I think is the right decision. And that means pinch hitting, that means starting, that means anything.
It's a fine line that managers walk between trying to be a player's manager and win ball games and go with their gut feeling. And sometimes you may, side towards a player thinking about tomorrow and the next day more than today's game.
Jesse Winker continues to hit. He's on his way to second base, in with a double. 7th double of the season for Jesse Winker.
The other thing Winker did right there, besides put a really good swing on the baseball, is run hard right out of the box. I mean, when you have 2 outs and you're up there and you've got a marginal hit that you're not sure if it's going to go for a double or not, you bust it out of the box and you're thinking, I've got to get to second base. Get myself in scoring position right here. And anytime the outfielder is on the move, one way or another, that's the time you want to take the extra base.
Yep. 2-out batters, Jose Peraza. Celebrating his 24th birthday today. And that's really reflective. We've said it many times. It's like when he's struggling, people are down on Peraza, and he's got a track record in Major League Baseball, but he turns 24 today. Still a young guy.
Be a couple of years out of college.
Yeah. Chacin took a lot off. 79 on the gun. That Twin Series, 8 hits.
Well, yeah, one game in which he hit 2 home runs.
Yep.
He hit the ball hard, hit it into the gap. Plus, he had a few flare in there for him. So, I mean, he's on fire right now.
Yeah, I tell you what, he's quietly played much better in the field at shortstop. Behind 0-2. Check swing and appeal, no.
Well, when Chacin gets 2 strikes on a right-handed hitter, every other pitch is going to be a slider.
One, 2. Fouled back. Peraza came in with 32 hits. Tied for 4th in the National League.
That's amazing from where he started.
Yeah.
To be up there in the top 5 in the NL. Well, there's a benefit to hitting right directly in front of Joey Votto, and he's taking advantage of it.
You got that right. Looks at one low. The count evens at 2-2. The aforementioned on deck. Two-two pitch. Center field. We've played 3. No score here on Fox Sports Ohio.
April 30th, 1892, Icebox Chamberlain became the first Reds pitcher to hit a grand slam. Only 2 other pitchers have hit one, Al Hollingsworth and Bob Perky. I'm told that Icebox gets his nickname because he was cool under tough competition. I want a nickname like Icebox, guys.
That is one of the all-timers.
Well, you're not kidding.
What a baseball name. Icebox Chamberlain. 1 pitch. 1 out for Finnegan here in the 4th. Just like Chris Welsh staring down a birdie or par putt. Icebox.
Well, when you know you only have a 50% chance of making it, why sweat it? Tell you what, things have really improved here on the night for Brandon Finnegan.
Yes.
After really having a hard time finding the strike zone in the 1st inning, he has just settled right down. The Brewers are being aggressive at the plate. They're hitting it on the ground.
Manny Pena lined out his first time up. This Brewer squad 16-13 overall. They come in tonight a game and a half back of Pittsburgh. Right now as we speak leads the National League Central. And the Pirates playing the Nationals in D.C. trailing 1-0 in the 4th. Brewers have had a tough go against the Cubs. 1-7, shut out 5 times. 15-6 against the rest of the league. Long drive center field. Hamilton giving chase. Hamilton climbing, can't get it. Solo home run, Manny Pena, and the Brewers have a 1-0 lead.
Pena hit the ball the hardest of any of the Brewers the first time through the order. And that was in the 2nd inning when he hit a line drive to Scott Chebler in right field. This one, he gets under a little bit and is able to loft it right out of here to the center field part of the ballpark. Right out the front door.
Pretty good effort of Hamilton timing his steps, climbing the wall. But no chance. That is the first Brewers run in 23 innings. Shutout in back-to-back games at Wrigley. Now have dented the scoreboard here. Bunting foul is VR. Counts 1-1. VR strikeout victim in the second, the only punch out of the night so far for Finnegan. One ball, two strikes. So this Brewers team, yet another plus 500 opponent for the Reds. The Reds coming in had played 23 of their 29 games against clubs 500 or better. In the National League, it's the third toughest schedule based on the current records. Strength of schedule 545. Teams the Reds have played, trailing only the Marlins and Padres. But finally a long homestand for this club too. And the weather is supposed to be nice all week. You mix in an off day on Thursday, and the players were really looking forward to getting home to kick off this homestand. 3 against Milwaukee, off day on Thursday. Miami Marlins come to town this weekend, followed by the New York Mets. Payoff pitch inside. A 1-out walk to Jonathan VR. So
that's one that got away from Finnegan right there, because he got ahead of him 1 ball and 2 strikes and tried to tease the top of the zone. VR swung and missed his first time up on a high fastball, didn't chase. And then when he started getting deeper into the count, he ended up walking him on a slider down and in. So again, you got to figure out, you're down at the bottom of the order. That's one of those times when you have to figure out the pitch that you can throw for a strike.
Could use a ground ball here to Arcia. After that 20 pitch first inning, the pitch count overall at 62 for Finnegan. '21 pitch third inning for Finnegan. Oh-2. Count holds and no balls and 2 strikes.
I mean, look at the swing that Arcia just took on an 0-2 count. I mean, here's a guy that's batting 8th. And of course, maybe you're batting 8th, and you're thinking, maybe I got to hit a home run here because I got the pitcher coming up next. But this is an 0-2 swing. I mean, that's normally what you see on a 2-0 count or a 3-1 count, or giving a guy a green light on a 3-0 count.
Do the 0-2 again. 1-2. Ground out, home run, walk so far in the 4th for Finnegan. VR has 4 stolen bases on the season. He's been caught 1 time. Two balls, 2 strikes. Got to hurry to get 2. Got him. Nicely done. Finnegan gives up a solo home run to Pena. 1-0 Brewers. Together. And by your local Ford dealer, Ford, go further. Oh, gorgeous shot from northern Kentucky, looking back across the Ohio River to downtown Cincinnati, and great American ballpark. And what a day it was in the Queen City today. That guy's having fun. 74-degree game time temperature. Sky still as clear as can be. The Reds down by a run. But Chacin will face 3, 4, and 5 in the Reds lineup. Votto, Schebler, Suarez. And if you're just joining us, Joey Votto named today as your National League Player of the Week. Walked his first time up. You want to talk about a shift against Votto. It's about as deep as I've seen a second baseman play this season.
Except that it's not the second baseman, it's actually the shortstop.
Is that Arcia out there?
Arcia right there.
Check him out. I mean, did that get Votto? It did.
Now the odd thing is, I mean, we could keep a high home look at this defense. Schebler's coming up next. Now they're going to shift Arcia from where he was in shallow right field. Here was Arcia was playing. He's going to walk over here, and now they're going to shift the second baseman back to the spot. So if Arcia was only permitted to field a Joey Votto shallow right field ground ball, where now the second baseman.
Now why do you do that? Because of Arcia's arm? Longer throw, the ball's going to.
You're going to have to ask Craig Counsell that.
I wish I could call timeout.
It probably has something to do with being able to turn the double play from the shortstop spot. You know, Arcia is coming across the bag right there.
Well, I mean, Arcia being out that far against Votto.
Probably.
You need someone to, if the ball's hit there. I mean, Votto didn't have great speed, but I don't know. I'm just speculating. These shifts are so commonplace now, and there's so many of them.
I mean, you're hiring a whole room full of smart mathematicians. You got to put some of their suggestions to use.
Well, I would struggle because I was told math was not part of this gig.
Oh, it is.
That's why I went into communications. People always ask me, did you want to go into broadcasting? No, I was trying to skip the hard math classes so I could get my degree. Schebler, left center field. Votto on his way to third. Schebler on his way to second base. And Schebler continues his hot hitting. That hitting streak now at 6 games.
Yeah, he kind of beat the defensive shift on this one by taking that ball to left center field. Just a nice flat swing Schebler has. He's a really good high ball hitter. He'll tell you that he likes the ball up. That's no secret. That ball right around waist high. Bad spot for a breaking ball, but Schebler just puts a really good swing on it.
Something he said he couldn't do last year with the shoulder injury was hit it with power the other way. He does so here, and now he's got something going here. Second and third, nobody out. Suarez at the dish. That will drift out of play. At least got to get one here, Chris.
Well, you hope preferably to get 2. Second and third, nobody out. Their infield is playing back, so they're giving you something, and that'll score both of them.
Down the left field line, that'll reach the wall. Votto and Schebler score easily. A 2 RBI double, Eugenio Suarez.
I think this is his first hit lifetime off of Chachin, a fellow Venezuelan. And Chachin right now is throwing a lot of pitches in very hittable parts of the zone. Dropping the bat head. Suarez right down the left field line.
Well, the Reds take the lead 2-1, and that ends a 22 straight scoreless inning streak for the Reds against the Brewers. 4th double of the season for Suarez, and it comes at a great time. The Reds will bid for a big inning. Tucker Barnhart has one sitting out there. Barnhart walked his first time up. Two and 0.
Looks like the Reds have a good game plan against Chachin here tonight. They know he's going to throw a lot of breaking balls. They're making him bring the ball up. They're not chasing pitches down in the dirt.
Like that. So Tucker Barnhart has seen 7 pitches from Chacin tonight, all out of the strike zone. It was a 4-pitch walk back in the second. And a 4-pitch walk here. Go figure. And that'll bring out Derek Johnson, pitching coach for the Brewers, to have a chat. So hit by pitch, double, walk here in the 4th for Chacin. Reds have taken a 2-1 lead.
Now, Derek Johnson's a pitching coach, longtime college pitching coach. He did a lot of work at the Division I level when he was coaching at Vanderbilt. And he comes out there to try to deliver a message to Chachin, but right now Chachin is a guy that's going to have to rely on a ground ball. He does have 1 strikeout on the night. It was Blandino who's coming to the plate right now. Walks and hits divided by innings pitched, also known as WHIP in pitching lingo. And the higher that number is, the worse it is. It means the more base runners you're allowing.
1-1 the count to Blandino.
Well, because Shashin throws so many breaking balls, part of the strategy of hitting off him if you're right-handed is either you get out there and you hook that breaking ball, or you're committing yourself to hit it the other way. He's got a spot on the right side of the infield.
Could be two. And it is. Suarez moves on to third base. And that was a big double play, made even bigger, that Brandon Finnegan, the pitcher hitting in the 8th spot, is now up. Finnegan 0 for 5 this season as a hitter. If Finnegan could only hit the baseball like he drives a golf ball, man. Crushes it. Braun knocks it down, takes it himself. The Reds get two RBI doubles, Suarez, and they have the lead.
Will receive an A. Eugenio Suarez bobblehead presented by John Morrill. See your Reds in action for as low as $12. For tickets, visit Reds.com. Now, hot off an RBI double in the last inning, A. Eugenio Suarez will bring us our moment of the month, number 3, on April 26th versus Atlanta. Fresh off being back from injury with that right thumb fracture, he was tested in not one but 2 plays. You see that diving catch in the second play. A. Eugenio Suarez proves that he is ready for action after injury. Guys,
he's always picking it down at third base, and that throw from his knee was a beauty. And he delivered there in the 4th for the Reds, and he gives his team the lead 2-1. Have reached the 5th here at Great American Ballpark. Well, it's been a night for Brandon Finnegan to work out of jams. He did give up a solo home run to Manny Pena back in the 4th. He'll face the pitcher, and then the top of the order, Lorenzo Cain and Christian Yelich. How about these guys in the booth?
The Deer Park Wildcats celebrating an undefeated Division III state championship. They went
undefeated. And before the game, they got the Reds Country Athletic Achievement Award. You know, and obviously to win a state championship, you got to score some points. But I heard about your defense. Playing D. Any team that plays D, I'm in. I'm all in on that. The park. Again, Schebler with a nice job of cutting that ball off, keeping that to a single.
Boy, hit hard again by the opposing pitcher. Shashin hit the ball on the button the first time right through the second baseman. This time he finds a gap in right center field. He wasn't sure where that ball was going.
We talked about Shashin, a career 187 batter. Hard ground ball the first time up, and this time base knock. We're going to get a picture between innings with these guys.
We have to. I mean, that Deer Park basketball team that won the Division III championship was the only undefeated team among 799 high school basketball teams in the state of Ohio.
Coach Gentry, Steve Gentry, I got him playing some D. Love it.
Now, are you a big fan of defense because you couldn't put the ball in the hoop?
Oh, no, I could score. I could score. I could shoot it from downtown, too. I just had a 2-inch vertical. And there's the pregame ceremony. Nice
Gotta
trophy,
love it,
too.
man.
Yeah.
What a great group of kids.
Reds do a nice job of awarding that Reds Country Athletic Achievement Award.
Well done, gentlemen. Well done.
Uh-oh. Brewers have retaken the lead. Second home run of the night given up by Finnegan. This one a 2-run job. Fourth of the season for Kane. And there goes the lead.
Yeah, you don't know if it's coincidence or not, but this is what we've been talking about with some Reds pitchers, young pitchers. Finnegan's only 25. And Danny Darwin talking about the third time through the order. Well, this is exactly the third at bat for Lorenzo Kane, and he launches one out of here.
RBIs 9 and 10 for Kane. Yeah, I like some of these celebrations that we've seen. They got their own confetti celebration.
Well, they've got a whole bunch of ammunition loaded up after that. A lot of the zeros they put on the board at Wrigley Field.
I mean, you got to have fun in this game, do you not?
You sure
It is such a long season, 162 games. You add spring training into that. You better have some fun along the way. And there's so many microcosms of moments. Even if you're a team that's struggling, man, have some fun while you can. Swing and a miss. Down goes Yelich. Second strikeout for Finnegan. First out of the inning.
Looked like he buckled down in this at bat and just kind of got some extra resolve. And just throws a four-seam fastball upstairs and right by Yelich.
Here's Ryan Braun, a walk and a single tonight.
Good-looking changeup. That's the really tantalizing pitch that Brandon Finnegan throws. And you see the hitters that they just read it as a fastball, and you think, wow, this kid's really got a chance.
Austin Bryce warming up in the Reds bullpen. And Jim Riggleman, in his short time as a Red skipper, is not shy about giving the hook. Can you do that in an entire major league season? Not sure, but he has been quick to the hook so far. Schebler has room. 2 outs.
Hey, one little follow-up on that Deer Park basketball state championship. When they went 29-0 this year, of course, they're the only team to go undefeated all year long. But they were the first Division III boys basketball team to win a state title while being undefeated since 2000, when LeBron James was a freshman at Akron St. Vincent St. Mary.
Wow. I actually attended that game.
Did you?
LeBron James, indeed.
Well, he's on a roll right now.
You want to talk about workhorse last night now.
Oh, my.
What, in his 15th NBA season?
He played every minute, didn't he? Or just about every minute?
He said before, I'm playing the whole game. Told his coach, don't even think about it. I'm playing the whole game.
Well, he brought his A game.
2-0. '87 total pitches. Only the second inning was a quick one for Finnegan. In his 3 starts, he went 4 1/3, just 3 innings in outing number 2, and on Wednesday, 5 innings. A mile high in the air. This will be the 3rd out of the inning. 2-run home run, Lorenzo Cain. Brewers have the lead. Injured earlier this week. A lot of worry about that. But he's back in the lineup for AAA Louisville tonight, and I say he's okay. Number 12. How about an inside the park home run? We saw it in spring training. This guy, you want to talk about busting it out of the box now.
Well, I mean, he can run, too. I mean, he's an overall terrific athlete in just about every aspect of the sport. I was really surprised how fast he was.
Yeah, I was too. I was too. I knew that he was a good athlete, but he bettered at least my expectations and a lot of others' expectations who had never seen him live before. Hard worker, hustler. And we'll see going forward. It's not a question of if, it's when. Hamilton sprays it the other way. This will be 2. Leadoff double. Billy Hamilton.
Well, Hamilton just kind of squirts that ball over the third baseman's head. And this is really, you know, I love this kind of approach for Billy. I mean, you can't do this on purpose all the time, but I wish we'd see him make more contact, less pop-ups, less swing and misses on bigger swings, and use what he has done the best, which is use those legs.
Willie McGee made a career out of being a slap hitter.
Yeah.
And using his legs. All right, Jesse Winker with a chance to tie it up or go ahead here. Lays down a bunt right side. This will certainly get Hamilton. Oh, be safe at first base. Braun with nowhere to go. And Winker with a sneak attack.
You know, I really think the left-handed hitters underestimate how difficult it is for pitchers to figure out what to do on bunts down the first base line. First of all, with a runner at second base, Shashin breaks the wrong way. He's breaking to the line. He ought to be heading to the first base line when he sees the bunt. So Winker just crossed up everybody's wires with that one.
All right, trouble brewing here for the Brewers. First and third, nobody out. And birthday boy Jose Peraza at the plate, trying to extend his hitting streak to 8 games.
Well, a tough situation last inning for Shashin. He got out of that, really. He gave up a couple of runs, but got out of more damage with a ground ball and then another ground ball double play. Now he's got the middle of the order to work through.
Hold the string. Hamilton at third, Winker at first base. Reds trailing by a run here in the 5th. Center field. Deep enough for Hamilton. Reds have tied it up. Nice job by Peraza, putting it in play, his 10th RBI of the season. And here comes Craig Counsell. That Dan Jennings, the lefty, warming up in the pen. And Craig Counsell is going to call on his lefty to face Joey Votto. It's our Skyline Chili call to the bullpen. Pastime between the tall stacks during tonight's game. Billy Dean from Crittenton, Kentucky will win the beautiful new Tundra on display at Great American Ballpark thanks to your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. Billy Dean. We hope it happens for you. New pitcher on the hill, it's lefty Dan Jennings.
Dan Jennings came in and bailed out the Brewers the last time they won a ball game, and that was when Shashin started against the Kansas City Royals. Threw 64 pitches in that game. That's when Craig Counsell went to get him. Tonight he throws 62 pitches. Counsell has gotten him, and he's called on the same left-handed relief pitcher out of the bullpen.
Lefty v. lefty here. Votto and a man on first base.
Never a bad idea right there for a pitcher.
Even with a slow runner over there?
Especially a lefty. I mean, you just throw it on over there, you know, just in case. But Winker's not going anywhere, not with Votto up. I don't think he's the stolen base type anyway.
No. Jennings has never faced Votto. Jennings has been unscored upon in 12 of his 15 appearances this season and has not allowed an earned run in any of his last 8 outings. That spans 5 1/3 innings. Called strike. The count's 1-1.
Well, he's not overpowering. Jennings only throws his fastball right around the 90-91 mile per hour mark. But he throws a lot of sliders, keeps the ball down. Most every one of his fastballs is the two-seam variety that has a tendency to sink.
One pitch, swing and a miss. So Chassin goes 4 1/3, 5 hits, 3 runs so far. Winker's his responsibility. Walked 3, struck out 1, and hit a batter. Jennings ahead, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2-2. Jennings 6'3", 210. Turned 31 on the 17th of this month, did Jennings. Facing a full count to Joey Votto. Second walk of the night for Votto. He's walked twice and been hit by a pitch. And that'll bring up Scott Schebler, who doubled his last time up. Schebler hitting in the 4th spot tonight. Scooter Gennett the night off, and Scooter has been nursing a shoulder injury since really the onset of spring training. And he probably noticed in the field. I mean, he's not known for his defense, but he has really struggled mightily throwing the baseball. As a sidearm thrower, and has really been throwing way low sidearm because of the shoulder injury. So he designated hit. He was the DH yesterday, I should say. And out of the starting lineup tonight as Schebler goes the other way again. They're going to hold Winker at third base. Back-to-back trips to the plate. Schebler going opposite field.
Boy, this young man has been so impressive at the bat since coming back from being injured with being hit on a pitch on his elbow.
And the Reds really missed his offense. I mean, he hits the ball hard. He is spraying it to all field. Second time tonight he's gone to left field to get a base hit. Last time it was a double.
So Dan Jennings was given the assignment of facing Votto and Schebler, two lefties. He walked Votto, a single to Scott Schebler. Jacob Barnes, the righty, has been warming up. He'll come on, and he'll face a bases loaded situation. As Craig Counsell brings on right-hander Jacob Barnes.
Well, he's been through one left-hander in his inning already when Dan Jennings failed to get either of the left-handers in the Reds order out. Votto walk, Schebler opposite field base hit. Jacob Barnes has been very good for the Brewers, and this is one of the things that they have been really good at all year long, which is coming out of the bullpen and shutting down the other team.
Bases loaded, one out. He'll face Eugenio Suarez. Suarez, a .333 hitter off of Barnes. He's faced him 6 times, 2 hits. Check swing, appeal. No, says Mike Mchlinski. That pen's been good, as you said.
Good bullpens that lead to a lot of wins.
Breaking ball in for a strike. Well, no, 90 mile per hour.
And it's one of the things that Craig Counsell realizes, and that's why he has gone to get his starters earlier this year than ever before, because he's got that good bullpen. Of course, you can wear them out by using them in April and May.
1-1 to Suarez. Suarez, a big hit his last time up. It was a 2 RBI double. Reds with a run here in the 5th. Billy Hamilton kicked it off with a double. Jesse Winker bunt hit. Sacrifice fly RBI, Jose Peraza. Walk to Votto, single by Schebler. Reds hoping for a big inning. Up the middle, base hit. This will score 1. They're going to wave around Votto. Back-to-back 2 RBI hits. Suarez, and the Reds retake the lead.
Well, you find a hole right back up the middle. When all else fails, hit the ball at the worst fielder on the team. That's the pitcher. And Suarez goes back through the box right here. Kane is playing very deep in center field, and that's why Billy Hatcher sent Votto, and Votto never even had to throw it home. By the time that Kane got to that ball, it had slowed down so much. A couple of runs batted in, and the inning continues.
Inning continues for Tucker Barnhart. So Suarez back-to-back good days at the plate. He has driven in 4 of the 5 Reds runs.
I got to figure the Craig Council is in that Milwaukee Brewer dugout right now thinking, this does not look at all like the Reds team that came into Milwaukee, or the Reds team that the Brewers saw here in Cincinnati. Although they played them better here, I think, than they did up in Wisconsin. This team's playing with a little bit more bounce in their step right now.
Our IGS bringing the energy tonight. 9th time in the last 8 games. 3 runs scored in an inning. 4 times in the first 21 games they did that. Just 4 times. 9 times in the last 8 games. And as Jim Riggleman talked about before the game, good offense can mask a lot of things. And we are simply swinging the bat better. Left center field, going to get it is Kane. And the runners will hold up. 2 outs. Barnhart put a charge into it, but chasing it down is Kane, and the Reds want to do more damage in this inning. It's up to Alex Blandino. And he would like to extend the innings. In the on-deck circle is Scooter Gennett. Jim Riggleman said that Gennett would certainly be available to pinch hit. He had an MRI on that shoulder this morning, and I imagine this would be a good sign, because they didn't have those results back yet during the open clubhouse session before the game. Reds trying to better what has been a 3-run 5th inning. Strike called. And a generous call at that. One ball, 2 strikes, Alex Blandino. Two and two. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Strike 3 called. But the Reds put a 3 spot on the board and lead by 2. from 700 WLW to answer Reds trivia, win prizes, and you could be featured on our Reds Live telecast. The fan cam gets started at 6 this Friday at the Holy Grail at the Banks. Brandon Finnegan take it on to the clubhouse. 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 runs they were earned, 3 walks. And he will give way to right-hander Austin Bryce, who has been very, very good of late for the Reds.
He really has, and that's one reason why Riggleman is going to the pen right here. I think that he's gone to the pen a little bit earlier, I think, than Brian Price has. Just trying to not overuse the starters, maybe push them a little bit further than you think that they can go. But Price has been up to every challenge the Reds have put out there for him.
As you said, if you wear out this pin in April and May, at some point these starters have to go deeper into games. It is not rocket science.
Well, if you're Jim Riggleman, though, you're looking for a win in every game you play. I mean, you are desperate to win today and then win tomorrow, and if that doesn't happen, then you win in the next day. And he's not thinking about July and August right now.
Yep. Particularly with the start the Reds got off to.
Well, he wouldn't be here if the Reds didn't get off to the kind of start that they got off to. And whatever factors led to that, whether it was injuries or bad luck or cold weather or anything else, I mean, it is what it is right now, and he is where he is. And he's just trying to piece together inning by inning and game by game.
He has not been shy to make his moves and not really care what anyone thinks about it. 2-2 pitch. Count holds at 2-2 to Domingo Santana. Swing and a miss.
Sometimes you miss with a breaking ball and you miss so high that it turns out to be an effective location. That's the case right here. He just kind of spins that baby up there, and then it looks so good to Santana, he just swings right through it.
One-out batter is Manny Pena. This game was scoreless until the 4th, and then it's been a back-and-forth affair from there. Milwaukee scored 1 in the 4th. The Reds countered with 2 in the bottom half. Milwaukee got 2 in the top of the 5th. The Reds counter with 3 in the bottom of the 5th. Oh, 1. Pena with that home run last time up and did some damage against the Reds in 2017 at the tune of a 400 average. 3 home runs, just 6 home runs versus the rest of all of Major League Baseball. These two teams, when they square off, have been known to get into hitting contests. .72 runs were scored last year between these two teams. That's a lot of runs. Granted, they play each other a lot as division rivals, but the second most all time. Up and in. 2-2.
Well, the other thing that Manny Pena does that you have to like a lot, and the Reds have this in Tucker Barnhart, they've got a guy that handles the pitching staff well and can throw out runners. Pena has one of the strongest arms of any catcher behind the plate. So you've got 2 of the best here in this ball game tonight. He's hanging tough.
Really is. Bryce will run it towards Votto, 2 outs. Two-out batter will be Jonathan VR. And VR will bat from the left-hand side for the first time tonight. Two outs, and the first pitch to VR. Called strike. Reds are giving up each line to VR. Suarez playing off the bag at third, and Votto playing off the bag at first. One pitch. 2-1. Swing and a miss.
Good old country hardball right there, and that's something Austin Bryce ought to know something about. I mean, after all, he is from Pittsboro, North Carolina.
Oh, there's some good Reds fans down there in North Carolina.
Better believe it. Population 3,700.
Salute. I just dated myself. That was a hee-haw reference. Three night games against the Brewers. 7:10 first pitch tomorrow night. Wednesday night, 7:10 first pitch. Reds live at 6:30 each night. 2-2 pitch. We'll do it again. Homer Bailey gets the ball tomorrow night against Chase Anderson. And on Wednesday, Luis Castillo against Wade Miley, who they just inserted into the rotation for the Brewers, as the Cincinnati Moeller product. Brent Suter goes to the pen for the Brewers. Base hit. Jonathan VR, an aggressive turnaround first base, but he'll hold up.
Now VR goes right down to get this. Looks like a ground ball that is just going to squirt right by the second baseman Blandino. Kind of bounced over his glove. Got to keep an eye on VR. Very fast. He has been in the past. Very aggressive on the base pass, although I don't know what his intentions are here.
4 steals and 5 attempts so far this season.
Short lead. Oh, he was leaning.
So that snaps an 0 for 10 string to VR. He did walk, though, in the fourth. Ouch. That hit him? Like it did.
I don't know if the ball bounced off the edge of Votto's glove and then right into the shoulder of VR or not. They're going to take a look at him, and we'll take a look at the play. Votto just missed the baseball.
Yep, sure did. Yeah. Oh, right in the back. Either on the arm or just below it.
That's really got to hurt, because not only do you get in kind of a sensitive spot right there in the rotator cuff part of your shoulder, but your arm is extended and you're really exposing the back of your shoulder, where that's really got to hurt.
There he goes. Throw down from Barnhart.
And that hits him.
He just walks away like, what does the guy got to do?
Well, he got banged on the shoulder diving back to first base. This time going into second base, it looks like the ball gets by Blandino and hits the runner.
Oh.
Right above the belt.
VR's like, come on, man. Can we catch the ball, please? Swing and a miss. One pitch. Foul ball. You know what? VR has always had an adventure on the base paths against the Reds.
And with Brandon Phillips manning second base, you never knew what kind of tag you were going to get.
That led to a lot of interesting freeze frames.
Every time you feel a little down, you just want to watch that video.
Oh! Where's that when he was a Houston Astro? 1-2 pitch. And just getting a piece is Arcia.
I think they even came up with some T-shirts.
Oh, there were T-shirts.
Celebrate that.
There were freeze frames that were classic. One-two pitch. Swing and a miss. Barnhart will step out and complete the 2-3 putout. Brewers strand a runner.
3. Now Scooter Gennett is on deck, but let's get back to those moments that matter in this month. At moment number 2, Scooter looking for redemption. He, after an error in the 9th inning where the Braves tied the game, Scooter Gennett hits his first career walk-off home run in the 12th inning as the Reds win 9-7. Now, if I remember watching that correctly, Jim, that was a cold night because Scooter was asking for mercy after a couple Gatorade dumps.
Indeed it was. But you know, it's one of those that's worth it. And that was redemption that night as well, because he did not come up with a play defensively that allowed the tying runs to score in the 9th. Came back in the 12th and won it. And now he'll step in pinch hitting in this pitcher spot here tonight. This is a good sign for the Reds. As we talked about earlier, he had an MRI on his shoulder this morning. Did not have the results, at least when the clubhouse was open before the game. But if it was significant damage, I'm sure he'd be at the plate, obviously. So pinch hitting here.
Structural damage, isn't that the way they like to say that?
They like to say structural damage. He's facing new pitcher Brandon Woodruff. But that shoulder's been bothering him. I mean, he has an ice pack on his shoulder before and after every game. He's done about everything he could do to strengthen it, to rehab it. And it got to a point where he had trouble throwing the ball, and finally admitted he's had trouble swinging the bat a little bit. I imagine part of the reason why he's been slapping the ball the other way a lot.
Well, you got to consider that if you're thinking home, well, if you're hurting that much, Scooter, why are you playing? Well, as a baseball player, you're always thinking forward, and he is a free agent after this year. So every at bat is important. Every number you put up is important. Well, sometimes, you know, the attitude of a lot of players is, you know, I can grind through this. I'm tougher than this injury.
Oh, yeah. No, you have to pry him out of the lineup. And in fact, after the game, he was a DH yesterday, and after the game, the night before, was in the clubhouse when manager Jim Riggleman came up to him and said, "Hey, you're DHing tomorrow." And once Riggleman walked away, I'm not sure he knew I was looking at him, but Scooter just looked up and like, thank goodness. It was a sigh of relief that, all right, I need the day off from throwing. But he would have never said, take me out.
Brandon Woodruff is the new pitcher, just called up on Wednesday from their AAA franchise. They're out in Colorado Springs. He was up early in the year. In fact, he was the starting pitcher against the Cubs about the 3rd or 4th game of the season. And was sent down and pitched well, and here he is back again, and he gets a first batter strikeout.
Hernan Perez now the shortstop for the Brewers. He will hit in the 9 spot. So he'll be up first in the 7th. And here's Billy Hamilton.
Well, Hamilton got it all going in the 5th when the Reds scored 3 runs with that little bloop double over the third baseman's head. You know, Billy's one guy who's talked to me about, you know, telling me that I'm working on bunting the ball down to the first base side of the, but you have to stay in there longer. And I like to run as I bunt, and it's hard to drag the ball with you. You have to bunt it first and then run. It's kind of a bad habit you have to break.
Well, Ryan Braun, not the most experienced first baseman.
And I was explaining to Billy, I think batter runners underestimate the chaos that goes on between pitcher, first baseman, fielding the ball, and the runner getting to the base all at the same time.
Right. Well, we saw earlier when Jesse Winker with a little sneak attack bunted it right at Braun, and there was some confusion on that play.
I never really mind Billy Hamilton opting for a bunt rather than a base hit, because he's as good as anybody in the baseball in putting yourself in scoring position.
As you said, last time up a double and scored, and this time he strikes out swinging. Back-to-back punch-outs.
Hey, Woodruff's got a little cheese working tonight.
Pretty versatile guy, Hernan Perez, out there at shortstop. Look at all the positions he's played. Wow. First time at short, as Arcia made the last out in the 6th. And the double switch. So here is Winker.
I wonder if you see that more. I'm referring to Hernan Perez playing what his 8th different position this year. If you see it more for a manager who was a utility type player who played all over the place. Craig Counsell could play anywhere on the diamond, and probably realizes, you know, if you're a decent athlete and you apply yourself, you can play there. You can do that too.
Left center field. Hit well off the bat of Winker, and that one's caught. Christian Yelich taking away extra bases from Jesse Winker. A dandy of a play. Winker put a charge into it, but Yelich had other plans. Reds have the lead, though, 5-3. Big night for Suarez so far. He's driven in 4 of the 5 runs, 5-3 Reds as we head to the 7th inning. New pitcher on for the Reds, lefty Wandy Peralta.
And Wandy comes in, game number 15 for him. And he's a guy that is, you know, if you look at a couple of his numbers, like his earned run average, you're thinking, oh, he's having a great year. But there are some areas of the game he can tighten up a little bit.
Base on balls would be one of those.
Yeah, strikeouts and walks. I mean, that's what you're not used to seeing. I mean, last year he walked about 3.5 batters per 9 innings. This year he's up over 6. But with his track record, you figure he'll come around.
He was money last year out of this pin for the Reds. Gets the first out, Hernan Perez, and now we'll flip it to the top of the order, Lorenzo Cain. Cain, 2-run home run his last time up. Cain has never faced Wandy Peralta. swinging for U.S. Bank Arena. Nearly corkscrewed himself into the ground. Oh-2 pitch. Hamilton. 2 outs. As part of the Ohio Lottery post-game concert series, chart-topping country singer Jake Owen will be performing a live concert from the field on Saturday, August 11th. Everyone with a ticket to the Reds game will have the chance to enjoy the show from one of country music's hottest artists. He said artists. Purchase your tickets now at Reds.com. This one into center field, but Hamilton will not catch this one. A hard hit, base hit off the bat of Christian Yelich for the second hit of the night. This good-looking player right there, Christian Yelich.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, and I think the Brewers feel like they got Yelich, you know, just the right age. He's 26 years old. He's just kind of not coming into his prime. He's been in his prime, but you know, baseball players typically get to a plateau at age 26 or 27, and those are the best years for them. So he'll be a Brewer for a while.
Yeah, they've got years of control on Christian Yelich.
They've got him signed through 2022. That would make him 30 years old.
Yeah. One for 2 nights so far for Braun. Three runs, 7 hits, no errors for Milwaukee. 5 runs and equals 7 hits, no errors for the Reds. Each team have left 5 on base. Yelich has attempted 1 steal this season, caught stealing in that 1 attempt. Two and 1 the count. Three balls and a strike with the lefty Travis Shaw on deck. Jared Hughes, the righty, has been warming up in the pen for the Reds, but a lefty on deck. Should Braun reach? Swing and a miss. Fans enjoying a little Monday Night Baseball. Payoff pitch. 2-out walk to Braun, first and second.
Yeah, that's always problematic when you're in a tight ball game. It's a 2-run game right now, and you walk the tying run and you bring the go-ahead run to the plate. Danny Darwin will stroll out to have a little walk or talk with Wandy.
Danny's got that slow stroll out to the mound. He gets there with 13 seconds left on the clock. You get 30 seconds now. The time the pitching coach or manager leaves the dugout.
Well, they're supposed to have 30 seconds overall, and usually when it gets down to be about 8 seconds is when the umpire strolls out.
Right.
And he's going to break up the.
We've seen some home cooking sometimes on the road where the clock will start when he's about halfway out.
Well, that's the concessionaires union coming into play.
Really?
Giving him a little extra time from time to time. Or in case the umpire's just snoopy, he just wants to get out there early and find out what they're talking about.
There goes the runner from second. In fact, a double steal. Throw down to third base, gets away from Suarez. And coming home is Yelich. And on to third base, Braun.
Oh, a gimme run right there for the Brewers. You didn't even have to make them put the ball into play, and they picked up a run. Yelich started out at second base on this play. This is another one of those plays where it's really difficult for the third baseman, because he's getting there at exactly the same time the runner is and the ball is. He doesn't want to leave his position too early in case the batter hits it to where he just left.
Well, that is an error on the catcher Barnhart, his first of the season. So credit Yelich with the stolen base, Braun with the stolen base in the E2, and it's a one-run game. Lazy swing.
Looking fastball, getting breaking ball.
One-two pitch. 2-2. Out of play.
You know, they're giving Travis Shaw now a steady diet of that slider, and Peralta's got a good one. But the more you throw it, the more he sees it, and the more chances he's going to begin to time it. At a 2-2 count, you still have a pitch to waste. If you want to run a fastball up and out of the zone here, maybe he'll chase it.
Full count. Righty Domingo Santana on deck should we get there, and I imagine that would be Jared Hughes if that happens. They walked him.
That was close.
Back-to-back walks given up by Peralta, and here comes Jim Riggleman. He will make the call to Hughes. 2 outs in the inning and 2 on. Reds trying to protect a 1-run lead, and here comes the sprint. Dun 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 dun.
by authority of the Cincinnati Reds and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Sticky situation, and Jim Riggleman calls on veteran Jared Hughes to hopefully get the Reds out of it.
You know, two things for this. Number one, the Reds trying to get out of this inning. Number two, message to Wandy Peralta. If I put you in a ball game, it's a tight game, I need you to throw the ball over the plate.
Yep. Back-to-back walks to Braun and Shaw, and now Domingo Santana at the plate, and he rips the first pitch. Hamilton goes back, he can't get it. This will score 1 run. The game is tied. They're going to wave around the second runner. Throw to the plate, offline, and the Brewers have retaken the lead.
You had to figure that Santana was looking first pitch right here. The bread and butter pitch for Jared Hughes is no secret to the Brewers. Obviously, he spent the season with them last year. And he elevated it a little bit, and Santana was all over it. And elevated it a little bit, I mean just by a couple of inches above the knees, which for Hughes is a huge amount.
Well, walks will haunt. Both of those walks by Peralta come around to score. And some 2-out bingo here for the Brewers. And this back and forth game goes back again in favor of the Brewers, 6-5. Well, that ball was tattooed by Santana, who ends up at third base. Credit him with a 2 RBI double. He goes to third on the throw home. Charging is Suarez, and he will make the 3rd out of the inning, but damage done. 3 spot in the 7th for the Brewers. Celebrate by purchasing the Star Wars themed ticket package presented by PNC Bank. Get an exclusive Chewbacca bobblehead and your ticket to see the Reds take on the Marlins. This limited edition bobblehead is only available through this offer. Visit reds.com/themes. Boy, people still love their Star Wars. Chewbacca. Now that's not a bobblehead giveaway. Let's stress that. You got to buy the ticket package for that. A good-looking bobblehead. Saw it before the game. Reds find themselves down a run again. Brandon Woodruff still on the hill for Craig Counsell. And a first pitch strike to Jose Peraza. Peraza, Votto, Schebler here in the home half of the 7th. That was a sacrifice fly RBI last time up. Rips it, but gloved by Shaw. Nice play.
There's some crazy happenings on this night. Maybe that's the explanation.
Now Ryan Braun going to get new leather. In fact, nope, he's going to go to the outfield as
Jesus Aguilar going to first base, huh?
Braun will go to left field.
And they'll take Santana out of the game.
Yep. So interesting move.
A complete defensive move right here. Although you're double switching a left-hander into the game, they're going to their go-to left-hander out of the bullpen.
Josh Hader will come on. It's Josh Hader to face Joey Votto here.
Lefty righty, it often doesn't matter with Hader, as good as stuff he has, and it's a blazing fastball with a really good breaking ball. He has not pitched in 4 days. That's the last time the Brewers were in a winning ball game.
And this guy's a strikeout machine. 31 strikeouts in 15 1/3 innings.
Of course, the Brewers are like a lot of teams. They take a look at an arm like Hader and they think long term, you know, boy, would this guy ever be good in the rotation? But he's so valuable out of the bullpen right now, they're not even thinking about that switch. Votto is hitless off of Hader in their matchups, although he has picked up a RBI on a sacrifice fly.
Check
and they're going to ring him up at the plate.
They are. Votto didn't like it a bit. Rob Drake rings him up.
Well, I think hitters don't like it because they at least want a second opinion. But once the home plate umpire rings you up for a strike, there's no appealing it.
And if they had appealed it, that's the view that Tim Timmons had of it. Close call. So close you at least want an appeal, like you said. At least get some help on it. Schebler 2 for 3 tonight. And a run scored, double and a single. That average sitting at 327 for Schebler.
So you put yourself on a strikeout list with Aroldis Chapman, Kimbrel, Betances, and you're up there with 14 strikeouts per 9 innings. Now those are the elite strikeout artists in all of baseball.
You got the benefit of the call there, and the count's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back punch-outs for Josh Hader. We played 7. A 1-run game at Great American Ballpark. Till the 4th, Manny Pena solo home run. And 3 runs via the home run. Pena and Kane with a 2-run job in the 5th. Big night though for Eugenio Suarez. 2 RBI double and a 2 RBI single. He's driven in 4 of the 5 Reds runs. But the deciding blow so far, part of a 3-run 7th inning. And that one over the head off the bat of Domingo Santana. 2 RBI double. And they stand at 6-5 in favor of the Brewers. As we head to the 8th, and Jared Hughes still on the mound for the Reds. Hughes runs it down, and look out. Had to sidestep his catcher, Barnhart, who has a little chuckle about it.
That's a pretty athletic move there by Jared Hughes.
It really was. The leap was good, and also the dismount. One out. First at bat of the game for Jesus Aguilar. Foul ball. And Aguilar will have to walk that one off. Ouch. They list Aguilar at 6'3", 296. That's a big dude. Hailing from Venezuela. He just powers one into left field. And they will hold him to a single. He hit that ball so hard But he's held to a single. Winker went and got it quickly, but this ball was crushed.
Well, he's going to be a very important person over the next couple of months for the Brewers with the surgery on the thumb of their starting first baseman, Eric Thames. Aguilar is a guy who will get a lot of playing time, and boy, I think if I'm playing third base, I may be back a couple of steps on that guy.
Here's Hernan Perez. Came into this game defensively in the 6th. Flied out to center field in the 7th. And he rips it, but foul.
What a pick down there by the ball guy.
And giving it to the little guy.
I mean, this is just like, does it every day.
Nice. Little Olay action.
Love it. He should have autographed that before he gave it away.
Reds do a nice job of the kids that go through the RBI program at the Reds Urban Youth Academy, serving as bat boys. Suarez gets the out at second base. Two outs, and now Lorenzo Cain. Average at 293. 1 for 3 night, including that 2-run bomb in the 5th. Okay. There goes the runner from first. Barnhart, no chance. Perez got a really nice jump.
You see the big high leg kick from Jared Hughes, kind of deliberate to the plate. You mix in a slide step now and again, and he does that, but I think he's more concerned about the hitter at the plate, knowing that he's got to put the ball in play for a base hit for the Brewers to score another run. This is the guy you want right here. You got to a 2-1 count. Yelich and then Braun are up next.
Two-one pitch. Landino makes the play, and the Brewers strand a runner here in the 8th. Reds trailing by a run. As always, brought to you by Ray St. Clair Roofing. First look at the lineups, interviews, Tom's tidbits, and so much more. Tomorrow's probables, Homer Bailey will face Chase Anderson, 6:30 for Reds Live tomorrow night. Bailey will seek his first win of the season. Josh Hader still on the hill for the Brewers. He'll face Suarez, Barnhart, Blandino here in the 8th. And big night so far for Suarez. 2 RBI double, 2 RBI single. You've heard the term many times, a pitcher having filthy stuff. Josh Hader is in that category. And this guy's a competitor. He will come right at you.
Well, he does. I think he combines good stuff. And what you mean by that is a hard breaking ball and a sizzling fastball. But he's also a little bit funky. Kind of comes at you with long arms and legs. They're flailing all over the place. So
down goes Suarez.
A little deception in addition to just good stuff. Interesting story, really, because here's a guy that was drafted in the 19th round out of high school by the Baltimore Orioles in 2012. And then a year later, he gets picked up by the Houston Astros in exchange for Bud Norris. And then the Astros trade him. And the Astros haven't made too many mistakes. But they traded Hader in a deal with the Brewers that brought along Domingo Santana, their starting right fielder, in exchange for Mike Fiers and Carlos Gomez.
Well, Hader's faced 3 batters and he struck out all 3. Marcel Iglesias warming up in the Reds pen. Jim Riggleman hoping the Reds can tie it or take the lead here in the bottom of the 8th. With a tough task against Josh Hader.
Well, it's only a 1-run ball game. I mean, you run into one right here, you tie the game up. I mean, there's nothing automatic about this.
How about Tucker Barnhart? That's the 3rd time he has walked tonight.
Doing his best Joey Votto imitation.
Yeah. 5th walk overall, surrendered by Brewers pitching. Tying run at first base for Alex Blandino. And the Reds will send Adam Duvall into the on-deck circle. Speaking of running into one, that guy can do that. Broken bat, and that one off of Blandino, foul ball. And he'll get some new lumber.
That had to hurt, but I mean, Blandino showed no sign of pain at all. Did not limp at all going back to the on-deck circle to get a new bat. It's hurting now.
And it'll hurt more later. He's behind in the count, 0-2. One-two pitch, swing and a miss. fourth punch out from Hader and 5 batters.
I mean, every out that he has gotten tonight has been a strikeout. Every one of them a swinging strikeout. Man, we showed you that elite list of strikeout artists that are in baseball right now. He's going to climb on that list the way he's going.
Well, he came in leading all of Major League Baseball as far as relievers and strikeouts. And he certainly bettered that as Duvall, the pinch hitter, with 2 outs and the tying run at first base. And now he's down a strike. 35 strikeouts now for Hader. Extends his Major League lead for relievers. Wow. That's a tough one for Duvall. Was he guessing there, I imagine?
Well, a swing and a miss is a swing and a miss. Whether you miss it by a fraction of an inch or you miss it by 4 feet.
That's true. Boy, Josh Hader.
Good night, Irene.
Mercy. All 5 outs recorded by Hader. All strikeouts. Save you 15% or more on car insurance. And buy Toyota for over 30 offers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Downtown Cincinnati. 6-5 Brewers. Top of the 9th. And new pitcher on for the Reds. Back into the bullpen, Raisel Iglesias. So we'll see how Iglesias fares in a non-save situation. If you want to look at problem spots for Iglesias, and they've been few, but one has been non-save situations. Winker giving chase, but we'll watch it fall in the stands.
Well, the non-save situation dilemma is common among relievers, and they talk about not having the adrenaline going that they have in a game when it's on the line. This game is on the line, though. It's a 1-run game. But the other common thing that the Reds' back end of the bullpen relievers have had problems with is throwing the ball over the plate. Iglesias has thrown 11 innings and he's walked 8 batters. And even with lights out stuff, and I'm not sure there's a reliever out there that's got any better moving instruments out there as far as pitches than Iglesias, but you dig yourself a hole when you put him on base.
Saw Yelich's night. 2 for 4. And a stolen base. And Reds have given up 5 stolen bases tonight. Only the 3rd time since 2000 they've done that. Easy play for Hamilton. Not so easy for others. He runs it down. 1 out. And now our premier matchup, Iglesias v. Braun. These one-on-one matchups, when they happen, are interesting to watch within a game. And the numbers speak for themselves.
So is that swing.
As you said, it doesn't matter if you miss it by an inch or miss it by a couple of feet.
Braun does something kind of interesting with his front foot, his left foot. A lot of guys, when they stride, they'll still keep their foot pointed towards a right-hander, like towards first baseline. But Braun will actually open his foot. Watch his front toe. I think it helps get his hips open a little bit. And talk about the foot right here. It'll point down this way. Definitely helps you clear your hip.
1-2 pitch. Center field. Hamilton. Sliding catch. Makes it look easy out there.
Well, you almost get it into a situation where you're just taking it for granted that anything is in the air long enough that Billy Hamilton is going to run under it. And with the outfield rotation the way it is, you know, there's no doubt that you lose something significant defensively when Hamilton is not in center field.
And Riggleman, part of his being really honest with the media, says he would love to put Billy out there every day, but the hitting just hasn't been there. And he said, listen, first thing you do is when you don't put him out in center field, someone hits a ball, and the first thing you say is Billy would have caught that. And he even called it a dilemma. And he's so good defensively and saves you so many runs that you want desperately to put him out there. But when he's struggling mightily at the plate, you have to make tough decisions. Over 3 night for Travis Shaw. Votto will take it himself. And a clean 1-2-3 inning for Raisel Iglesias. Last chance for the Reds. Hamilton, Winker, Peraza.
defense in the top of the 9th. But here at moment number 1 for our top moments of April is why Billy is amazing on offense. On April 15th versus St. Louis, Billy Hamilton with his first home run of the year, and then after scoring gives a young fan his batting gloves. That young fan called his home run and told him, just jog around the bases, man, right before he hit it. Jim, Chris?
That was a terrific moment. Some older gentleman said, just hit it on the ground and run. And the youngster said, no, just, as Shannon said, just hit a home run and jog around. It's much easier. And he obliged. But Josh Hader still on the hill. When you get swept 4 games in Wrigley, Craig Counsell keeping his best guy out there. He wants this win.
Well, I think everybody wants to win, but I don't think it's any secret that Hader is a multiple innings reliever.
Yeah.
He pitched 3 innings in a game last year against the Reds in August. 3 innings of 1-hit shutout baseball. And no matter who you go to the bullpen from Hader, it's a step down.
Billy strikes out trying to bunt.
I'm not so sure I like that particular play in a 1-run game. I mean, I'm all for Billy Hamilton bunting in certain situations, but a 1-run game and kind of moving at the time. But, you know, the bunting game is still a work in progress.
Well, Jesus Aguilar is the first baseman. He was playing back, not the fleetest of foot.
Oh, if he gets it down, it's a base hit. So you understand where he's coming from.
But against the nasty stuff of Hader,
I don't know, is it easier to bunt than it is to hit? Because no one's been able to put it in play yet.
That's true. See what Jesse Winker has for him.
I mean, he has had 6 outs in the innings, in the 2 innings he's pitched, and all strikeouts.
Winker has faced Hader 1 time, 0 for 1. Pitch number 30 for Hader. And he has topped 29 pitches 5 times this year. So that goes right along with what you were saying, known as a multi-inning pitcher. He'll shake off his catcher a couple of times. Now has what he wants. Turns loose the 2-1.
Oh, Winker's hot about that one. Winker, if nothing else, he really prides himself on knowing the strike zone. And I have to say he's right here.
Wow.
You see the movement by the catcher at the very end? Even if you disregard the fox tracks, just watch the catcher. He'll tell you whether it's a ball or a strike.
Two-two pitch. Or completely changes the at-bat. And as you said, Winker with a terrific eye at the plate. Do the 2-2 again. Swing and a miss, and how about Josh Hader? Every out he's recorded tonight has been a strikeout. Stick around, we'll put a capper on this one. Reds Live, the postgame edition, right around the corner. What we hope is a 2-out rally for the Reds here in the 9th. It's brought to you by Performance Kings Honda. Seven strikeouts for Hader, ties his career high.
Only because they've limited him to 50 pitches.
Peraza fouls it out of play, and Peraza's a tough guy to strike out. He has an 11% strikeout rate, 4th lowest in the National League. The National League average is 23%. He is a tough guy to fan, but the way that Hader is mowing him down, we'll see. 7-game hitting streak. on the line as well here for Peraza, as well as the game on the line. Peraza trying to extend this game for Joey Votto. Reds down to their last strike. Swing and a miss. Josh Hader comes on to record the final 8 outs of this game, all strikeouts. And the Brewers take game 1 of a 3-game set, 6-5. Reds Live, the post-game edition, is coming up next.